What is happening at J Gaming Dude here? And Hideki Kamiya, the man, the myth, the legend, he is a director, a game director who has made some exceptionally good games when he was a part of Platinum Games. The game studio that I absolutely love, I think just about everything that they've kind of made. Whether it be Bayonetta, whether it be Vanquish, whether it be Okami, whether it be Viewtiful Joe, like, they've done some great stuff. But the director behind some of Capcom's finest games have left Platinum Games last year, but he's not retiring. And this title here, I think just about says it. Hideki Kamiya asked Capcom to let him make Okami 2 and Viewtiful Joe 3. Creators have the duty to create sequels fans want to see. I still feel like I haven't fulfilled my duty. And to see an Okami 2 would drive me up a freaking wall because I loved Okami. Yes, it is a slow game, but the art style is so good. It still holds up even though it was originally a PS2 game. The paintbrush mechanic was a little bit janky, but surely I know for a fact it could have been improved upon to make it better, because it really does slow down the pace where like everything slows down and then you do the brush strokes to turn create a circle to put a line through it to create like a bomb, for example. Viewtiful Joe 3, look, comic-y, like very manga-esque art styles like you do see in Okami 2, in Viewtiful Joe 3 looked absolutely beautiful. In fact, I actually did get copies of Viewtiful Joe and Viewtiful Joe 2 that were originally released on PS2, and I've been playing both of those games on my phone, and wow, like it still looks good to this day, even though those are like PS2 games. Just imagine for a moment if we could get those sequels, because I would absolutely love to see these games release without a shadow of a doubt. So in 2006, Kamiya directed the Zelda-like adventure Okami, which was rated highly more than a decade later when it came to the PC. Okay, so this is when PC Gamer did a review of it. It was his last game at Capcom. The company closed the internal studio that had made Okami shortly after its release, and many of the developers, including Kamiya, left to found Platinum. But nearly 20 years later, it seems like Kamiya still feels like he has unfinished business. The story ended midway, so leaving it as it is, I feel bad, Kamiya reflected. Now it's interesting he says that, because sometimes some things are left, to sleep, because we kind of have seen what happened with Shenmue, for example. Shenmue 1, Shenmue 2 happened, but the director Yu Suzuki was like, he wanted to make 7 Shenmue games. But the thing is, we did not get a Shenmue 3 until 2017, and even then it was a god-awful title. Now I'm saying 2017 because that is a very, very rough estimate from my perspective, but it was roughly around that time. It was just really, really, yeah. I can see how maybe letting a franchise go might be for the better in the case of like I said, Shenmue, because Shenmue 3 is actually a pretty bad game, where Shenmue 1 and 2 was an interesting case study into what we eventually found with the Yakuza series. And the Yakuza series I love with every bone in my body. Like, that is such a great franchise that I would not want to do anything else besides just play Yakuza day in and day out, and I could quite literally just do that if I wanted to. That being said though, creators, I think, have the duty to create sequels fans are wanting to see. Although I sound all high and mighty, it's been a while since I've moved on from Okami, but I still feel like I haven't fulfilled my duty. So Capcom, please, let's do it together. Which I appreciate the way that he's asking real nicely, like, sure, don't want to come off as like, a massive bellend, but come on, if there's a chance that this can happen, why not make it, Nakamura added her own plea in this video, which I think is referring to the Nakamura who left what's it called? Yeah, the dev who used to work on Ghostwire Tokyo and had their wholesome E3 moment, which when they originally did show off Ghostwire. So that's the Nakamura that they were talking about. Yeah, because I kind of figured that was going to be the case, but I didn't think it was actually her. Wow. Okay. So these two go back. That's so cool to actually kind of see that sort of thing. But yeah. Ooh. Man. Just imagine going back to some older titles that Kamiya actually directed and him being able to make sequels for it. That would be insane. Again, these are two really good examples. With Okami 2, Viewtiful Joe 3. I'm sure we have got sequels for Bayonetta, Vanquish. I don't know if people actually do miss the Amazing 101, I think it was called. That was a pretty crazy thing in and of itself. But yeah, I wonder, like, that would be really, really cool. I mean, he directed, he worked on, rather, the, Resident Evil games. Oh, he actually directed... Okay, so I actually looked up his Wikipedia here, and the games that he kind of... Okay, so he's, directed, Devil May Cry, joined as a designer in Resident Evil, Resident Evil 4, Onimusha Warlords, some more Devil May Cry games, Viewtiful Joe, which I think I've already kind of covered and is part of the series, Okami, of course, Bayonetta, which we did get, The Wonderful 101, that's the one I was thinking of, Star Fox Zero, which is god-awful, Scalebound, which got cancelled and was supposed to be a Xbox exclusive, that got canned, and I kind of wish we saw more. Man, yeah, he's directed a lot of good stuff. Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry. He was working on Project GG, but we still don't know what that was. And we still don't know if it's still going to happen. Bayonetta, Wonderful 101. Yeah, I think I've just about covered kind of every game that he's been a part of. He's been a part of some good stuff. Astral Chain. Seeing a sequel for Astral Chain would be insane, but I personally haven't played it, so I wouldn't be able to speak to it. But just, man, if a man wants to cook, why not let him, If a man wants to make something, give him an opportunity, give him a chance, because this man's got an exceptionally proven track record, to say the least. I thought for a second he also worked on, Killer 7, but then I realized, oh no, that's a completely different director that I really, really like, so... yeah, we'll move away from that. But he did just bringing up Okami, Viewtiful Joe, and Resident Evil is enough for me to be like, or Resident Evil 2 specifically, is enough for me to be like, this man should, be given the opportunity if he's able to. And I'm sure he hasn't kind of outlived his career as of yet, because again, technically he hasn't retired yet, and if he were to retire, he would probably just try and find more work to do anyway, so I would be very much interested to see where he would go with this, and I would be very happy to see him come back, but whether or not that's actually going to happen, we can only find out later on down the line. But with all of that being said and done, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Would you want Hideki Kamiya to come back and make these sequels? So we're just going to stick with Okami and Viewtiful Joe as examples. And if so, is there anything else in particular you'd want to see from him? And if not, also kind of why, I guess, because I feel like there needs to be a reason for why you'd want that or why you wouldn't want that. For myself personally, I would want that. Why? Because I would love to see sequels to these games that I've been gushing over as I've been playing through them. Like Okami 2, I've platinumed, Okami 1, sorry. I've platinumed that game twice. Viewtiful Joe, I'm currently playing through both Viewtiful Joe and Viewtiful Joe 2. I could see Viewtiful Joe 3 doing... Actually, no. I would see it doing exceptionally well critically, but I don't see it doing well commercially. So I think it's because all of these titles are ultimately cult classics, really, from him. So that's kind of really unfortunate to think about, but you know, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. With all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.